Hey, y'all. Kiki, real quick. I feel like we kind of keep checking in with this every time. You set this franchise record of double doubles today. I know you'd rather it come in a win.
Granddaughter.
But what's that mean to you and for either Sid or AC? What's it been like kind of watching her kind of accomplish these things?
Well, I will say it's bittersweet. Obviously, as you mentioned, we really wanted this win and kind of getting on a winning streak. But again, I think it's just back to what I pride myself on is getting on the glass, trying to get extra possessions for my teammates. And I feel like rebounding is consistent regardless of how teams play me. If my shot's falling or not if my shot's falling or not falling, I can always kind of attract the ball. So I think just being consistent with that has really helped me get to this point. So I think just trusting the process and just focusing on what I can do. So, yeah.
I'll just say, um, Kiki's a winner. She doesn't take to losing. She's unbelievably coachable. Um, she just cares about being good, and so she brings her own effort. She puts in extra time. She asks questions. And then she's coachable and she competes. And, I don't know what to say. It's like a dream come true to have her and Sonia and Georgia and Lucy. And, Kiki's just carrying the torch in terms of how hard she competes and is really, making us a tough out.
Sydney, you mentioned pregame that you thought this would be a test in terms of pro habits and, what you guys are playing for. How do you evaluate how you did in that respect?
I thought we were exceptional. I think Phoenix plays really hard. I think, and they try to challenge you. And I just thought, physically, um, I thought I just loved how we competed. I'm just the losing, is not what we want to do. We want to have, at least one more point than the opponent. It didn't quite come out that way, but I mean, 20 plus assists, kept our turnovers low, um, you know, tried to, throw AT off a bit, and um, yes, they had threes, but there's a lot of other things that we did really well, and we fought, and that's kind of been who we've been for like 90% of our games. So just super proud of that.
Staying with that a little bit, Nate was just saying in his post game that's the most zone they've seen all year. How do you think that it was effective in terms of kind of throwing them off in kind of the way that you were talking about pregame?
Yeah, no, I did. I thought it was effective. But AC, Kiki, and the whole crew, like they make it live and breathe, So like whatever we're doing, and we are scheming, I think our coaching staff works really hard, but their communication, there's a zone slide that AC did that was right on point. That wasn't necessarily coached. It was like instinctive and came through communication, things like that. Your players make you look good. And I thought they were exceptional and gave us an opportunity to stay with the zone.
AC, for you, we've heard a lot about your leadership since you've been here, and especially kind of during this losing streak. Can you kind of talk about what your message has been during the streak, and since you guys got eliminated from playoffs, what are you saying to the group?
Um, just keep continuing to encourage them and letting them know, like, this is the best league in the world. You're going to lose some, right? But it's a process. When you're in this stage of building, building for the future in that way. But there's enough talent, to just remind them, like, hey, you can compete and win games in this league, but it's how you lose games. And that's whether you're on a championship contending team or not. Um, Going out and competing for 40 minutes and playing and leaving it all out there is how you want to walk away from every game. And so, there were a couple games through this stretch that we didn't like how it felt. And even tonight it's hard. Like we're professionals, we want to win, but it's how you lose. I can walk away from this saying I gave everything, that my team gave everything. The players played their they left it all out there. And that's sometimes it goes your way and sometimes it doesn't. That's sport, that's life. But it's how you continue to build. And so for me, just letting them know like it's a process, to trust the process and plant seeds, because what they do, I know I'm a latecomer here, but what you do this year, you're planting the seeds for 2, 3 years down the line. So that way, when you are, when you look up and they're sitting here 2 years from now and you're talking to them about going to the finals or whatever, um, they're going to be able to look back at this season and be like, we planted good seeds. We planted, culture seeds, and a culture is really important when you're trying to build. And so, yeah, just continuing to let them know, to trust themselves, to have confidence. They're getting real game time experience. When I came in the league, rookies and players, young players, you didn't get that. You had to do it in practice. So they're out here being able to read coverages, giving every front court player in this league fits. I told Kiki when I got here, I was like, girl, you are strong. And I am so, I was tired of having to go against you. Like like you're annoyingly strong, but then like encouraging her in that. And I just think you see it. Like, so these are things that they can take with them in years to come. And I love being around this group, even through the losses. Like, it doesn't feel heavy in that way, because there's just such a joy in this locker room, and I love being around and being able to be one of the leaders here for them.
One more for you, and then I'll share the wealth. But
Sorry, that was a little long.
no, that was great. I was talking to Shug pregame, and she was saying that you had kind of talked about like what a championship team looks like in your experience. And I'm curious, can you like give me an example of kind of one of those separators that you see in a championship team that you're like trying to help this team get to?
I mean, there's so many good points. Like, I like to look at the intangible pieces, right? Because it's like, yeah, you need, great tandem in your point guard or in a front court player. You need shooters around all those obvious things. But I think the intangible something is like a high level of accountability. Um, I should be able to come in and, be able to get on to Kiki about something if it's in the scheme, and I'm like, in an encouragement, but like if I get onto her like, hey, I need you here on this low eye, and she receives it in a way where she understands that it's coming from a good place. It's coming from a place of helping her be better, because when she's better, our team is better, and vice versa, all down the roster. You know what I mean? I know Maddie got here, but she's in the locker room talking to us about, things that she's seeing on the floor. And when somebody's not doing something, she's not afraid to say it, whether it's to me or to one of the other players. And I think when you can have that level of accountability from 1 through 12, it makes a huge difference. And that's something that's been consistent on all of my championship teams. I was able to say things to Sue and Stewie and, Natasha, in the same way with Asia, Chelsea, and Jack. Like, that's something that I was able, we were all able to do. And so being able to kind of just remind them of that, I think has been pretty cool.
All right, so my first one's for Sydney. 38% from three is what you were able to hold them to, and you outscored them in the paint. What did you like from the effort that you saw tonight all around?
Yeah, I thought we had some schemes there in terms of the zone helped us in our man. There are some things that I thought we did a good job staff wise of trying to correct, because they were able to expose some weaknesses in man, and then players like players make it happen. We have to watch a lot of film and do our work and try to put together a game plan, but they lived and breathed it. And so I thought their effort was sensational, multiple efforts, not putting your head down, competing against the Mercury. All those things were really good.
And then for Kiki, 0 fouls tonight. How has no, I mean, we have to applaud that, right? Your defense is getting better. Can you just kind of talk me through how you feel that your defense has been this season now?
Yeah, I think my first game of the season I fouled out, or one of them. So I'm definitely happy with the progress that I'm taking, or where I'm getting to. I think I can be a little bit, I think I can get one foul. I can be a little bit more aggressive, I would say that. But just, I think for myself, it's anticipating what the schemes are going to be, watching film, understanding where my player is going to be, how can I help others as well. So I think it's just I'm developing a higher IQ, so that's also helping with the fouls. And I'm a little bit, calm, so I'm not getting those ticky tack fouls right now. But yeah, I would say that's just the biggest thing is just I've kind of gone through it and I kind of know how to control myself.
All right, and then my last one, Alicia. When is the cooking season coming out?
Stay tuned. We're in the works. We're in the works. It'll be coming soon.
All right, thank you.
Alicia, what has stood out to you about Kiki and Sonia just in general since you got here?
I mean, right off the top is just their poise. As rookies in this league, like it's a tough league for anybody, and just the way that they're able to learn on the fly, their quick learning skills that they have is really important. But I love the way that they compete. Being able to come in and they're not afraid of anybody, even as an opponent of them, like the way that they would attack, us, it was just like, okay, these rookies ain't scared of nobody. Ah. But being able to watch that and watch it up close and personal has been amazing. And then just their work ethic. They have such a lightness and a joy when they show up to work and when they're working. And that's something that I love being around. It's so infectious. And so to be able to watch them and then watch them thrive out there and succeed and watching all their work pay off, I think has been really cool. But I'm really impressed by their poise, the way that they're able to just stay within themselves and continue to compete night in and night out. It's pretty special.
Thank you.